Hello. In this episode, we will make our promised anime battle of who can survive if they would spawn in our real world. Um, some criteria that we have are the the character is not allowed to be an isekai protagonist,
because
and
they are from our world.
yes, and the character is not allowed to live like 1,000 or 2,000 years. He should have at least lived 1,000 or 2,000 years before us.
Not 100 years,
Yeah,
because we're historical characters. Like
yes.
200, 300 years, that's a good measurement.
Mm.
Plus, no powers.
So we have collected 16 characters, which you can see on the screen right now. We will roll the reel, and whoever lands on the reel is going in the bracket. So if I roll, for example, beta, I will put beta in the first bracket, and then we roll the next one, and this is the enemy of beta, who he has to fight.
Basically, a random selection.
Yes.
Plus, we
Uh,
have a harder bracket and an easier bracket.
mm, as you can see, the right bracket is only 4 brackets, and the left side is 6 brackets. Yes, we will go from up to down on the left side first, and then up to down on the right side. So, for example, this bracket is the first one, second, third, fourth.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. So, should we get started with the rolling?
Yes. And while we roll, we will talk about things that are important to live in our world.
Yes. So,
I would say the first thing is that you should get along with social media and technology.
yes. The first character is Frieren. So, Frieren, where's
In the
Frieren?
middle
There, yeah.
with a meme face.
Yes. Another
Another
thing.
thing. Oh, sorry, you can go on.
No, you can go on. I will roll if you tell.
Yes. One important thing, at least for me, is finding a job or an occupation. Like, for example, being a student, education for younger characters, and for older characters need to go to work.
Oh,
Elf versus Elf.
yeah. Frieren against Betel.
Do
The
you have any other criterias?
Um, definitely a social factor, like if they can socialize.
Yes. In person, not on social media.
Yes. Estef
Yes.
is the next one.
Eisenmami.
So who will fight against Estef? Let's see.
Plus, I would say, as a setting, we have a urban big city,
Yes,
not a rural landscape.
like Tokyo or something.
Yes.
Next,
Charles Henri Sanson, a Frenchman.
this one, right?
Yes.
Next one. Ah, Natsu.
Natsu. Also, I would say that our chosen character is living alone. And
Yes,
then we can have his criteria being independent, doing shopping, housework, and whatsoever.
yes, exactly. Show us.
If a person always cooks, if they always get something delivered.
Mm-hmm. Nikaido is the next one.
Yes.
Where's Nikaido?
Beside Tanjiro on the left.
Ah,
Yes.
so next one, next bracket.
N-
Oh,
Is
so
Zoro. Another important criteria is also if the character is being a lawful citizen. or if they are being mischievous little imps.
Yes.
That's also important. Because
Yes.
some laws or some behavior from the past or from a fantasy world is not tolerated in our world.
Who is Laios? This one?
Yes.
Or if they can find directions easily. For example, we have Zoro who can't.
Is Zoro
Yeah,
smart enough to use Google Maps? We need to find out.
yeah. So, next bracket. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, close one. Schindler. And next one. Who will fight against Schindler? Oh, Tanjiro. Ah,
Do you have any other criteria for a successful
huh? There can,
life or
bro, there can be something. There's not. There's something not right. Because look, we have. We
reload the page?
wait. This was. This wasn't.
No.
We
And
had.
the ay. He inted. Yes.
Yes. Who was the second matchup? I think this guy against her.
Yes. This sounds right.
Um, we had one other
Viet
bracket.
Nikaido.
Yes, this one.
Yes. Sounds right. If not, we can correct it after we check in the
Wait, we
recording.
had this guy too. Who was he against?
Uh, Torfin? Question mark?
Nah, Toffin wasn't. Wait, Toffin is still there. Uh, Levi, right? Levi. No,
Levi is
Levi's
still there.
Lelouch. No, Lelouch is still there. Natsu. Okay, then Natsu was against him. That's the right order. Um, where's Tanjiro gone? Huh? They're gone.
Lass nochmal neu machen.
Ja.
Ich meine, das gerade. Ah ja.
Aha. Ja, dann möchtest du irgendwie rauscutten. Egal, passt schon.
Ich glaube, wir machen die Version, bis wir uns gegen und dann sagen wir einfach, um es schneller zu machen, haben wir es rausgecuttet.
Ja.
Okay. Dann können wir die jetzt ja einfach so rollen und so normal quatschen.
Next, Levi. And who will Levi go against? I would think Mao Mao would be a perfect matchup for him.
You put Lelouch in,
Oh,
not Levi.
yeah. My bad.
Maybe you are rolling Lelouch now.
Bro,
No.
I predicted it perfectly. Holy. I said Mao Mao and who won? Mao Mao.
While putting him a wrong guy before, and he is.
Oh, Thorfinn.
I think this will be a battle of historical characters, so Amir is next.
Who knows? It's a 1, 2, 3.
He's 33%.
Yeah. And nope.
It's a battle against the historical and the future.
Yes. So who will start the first bracket? The last bracket? Amir. Amir. So who will be the last row? Just to make sure Yoru.
Yes. With Yoro, we have only Yoro, not Yoro Asa, right?
Yes,
To
only
double
Yoru.
check.
Yes.
Okay.
So those are the brackets. And now it's perfectly fine because I fixed it somehow.
Yes. After some massive skill issues.
We don't talk about this. Yes, first bracket. The first battle is Eren against Beta. The second one is Estef against Laios.
Charles.
Charles. Next one is Zoro against Nikaido. Then Natsu against Laios. I deleted him. I don't.
Fraudulent.
um, Next battle is Shinra against Tanjiro. Then Levi against Mao Mao. Thorfinn against Lelouch. And last but not least is Amir against Yoru.
Yes.
So those are the battles that we will have. So let's get to the uh we explain the characters first and then let's go to the battling.
He was struggling.
Yes.
Yes, first we explain the character and then we argue.
Yep.
So the first characters are both from me. We have the Battle of the Elves. We have Frieren from Frieren and Beta from Eminence in the Shadow. With Frieren. Frieren would be a double-edged sword in our world. She would struggling, but she would also be successful in some ways. First of all, she would not be able to live alone. A bit like Liu, slow, tardy. She wouldn't clean up her room, sleep the whole day. So that's a minus. But I think she has one upside. She's really smart and she likes research. So she would be a perfect uni prof. Because her character is also a bit extra and you don't know, but you will know when you're studying. Some profs are special and have their own way of doing stuff.
Mm.
Especially the older profs. Frieren would be a perfect grandpa or grandma prof who is like close to 70 years old. I can see her there. And on social media, I think Frieren would not be great, especially if Demon exists. She would insult them the whole time and hate them. So, not a great social media user. So overall, Frieren not the greatest in our world, but not the worst, I would say. Should I explain the next character, or do you have any questions?
Nope. Go ahead.
Okay, the next character is Beta. First of all, she would have the job that she has in the series, being an author. That's good. The only downside is that she used a lot of story that Shadow told her from our world, which already exists, so it's not safe to say that she's good at writing her own stories. But
Yeah.
she's good at writing stories and right adapting stuff that Shadow told her successfully, so stylistically she should be a good writer.
Yes. Or maybe she can even write about the stories about the other world.
Maybe. If said knowledge of the other world exists, then definitely.
Mm.
And I'm going to talk a bit about the upcoming movie, but I'm not going to spoil too much, only some light stuff. Because I picked Beta out of a reason that she goes with Shadow in our world, where the movie plays. And there she, first, learns by herself our language. Impressive feat, I would say, for a character from a fantasy world.
Mm.
And with that, she also learns to use social media by herself. Also impressive feat. And there's I will spoil one scene because it's really funny. It's one of my favorite comedian scenes. We have Shadow, who is in our world, cosplaying as a rogue knight. And meanwhile, Beta research on social media. And then Shadow thinks, ooh, if she finds out about all the stuff that I've told her that this is from this world and not my super duper Shadow knowledge, I'm in trouble. So Shadow makes a fake account, and with this fake account, he insults his new persona in this our world, the Rogue Knight. And Beta sees this on social media in a forum and starts arguing with Shadow to defend Shadow's persona. And both insult each other, and she gets banned. And Shadow too. So Beta would be getting banned really fast on social media if she has a crush that she would simp for. Toxic Elf gets banned on social media. That's a good headline.
Yes.
Who do you think would win?
It's a tough one, but I would definitely go for Beta because he has such an incredible learning ability. And as you said, he can learn the human language easily. I
Yes.
think Frieren could learn it too, but I think
Yes.
she would be too lazy to learn it.
And she would take really long.
Yeah.
Beta is just the upside that she actually traveled from her fantasy world to our world and learned our language and using social media. So she's the only character that has this feat.
Yes.
So that's a big W. So I would choose Beta as well.
Yep. So she goes through in this bracket. So let's get on to the next bracket, and this one I have picked as Dev.
The
And
mommy.
this, yes, and this one is kind of tough because she would be quite lost in our world. She would try to dominate our world, but then she would find herself fighting against firearms or tanks even, and then she would be quite lost.
She needs to become a nuke like Shadow Summer.
Yes.
Beta would approve.
So she would have some difficulties, but I think she could learn how to deal with it over the time.
I also think that she's smart enough. My problem is that I don't know if she fits in terms of equality in our world. Because nowadays, I think every human sees each other as equal, or should see each other as equal.
Hmm.
But I do think Esther would struggle with that.
Yes, definitely. So
And have
she,
you thought about what her job would be?
I really don't know what her job could be. Um, yeah, maybe in some kind of BDSM bar or something.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
some kind of nasty stuff because a lot of people like to be um the dogs.
Dominated.
Yes, dominated. So she would fit in like some kind of Hooters or something. Do you know Hooters?
Yes.
Yeah, but she would have problems socializing with other humans because she thinks of herself very highly.
Yes, and everyone is a worm beneath her feet, basically.
Yes,
Should we go on, or?
yes, go on.
Okay. I have Charles-Henri Sanson, a Frenchman. He's from the time of the French Revolution, and I've picked him because he was the executioner with the most executions in history in France. And in the manga, he does not want to be an executioner, but he needs to take over the family business and plays the role that society wants him to play. Even though he's a very idealistic person and wants to have a world of peace. But he has to do the executions and fit into the very fucked up norms from that time. And that's why I picked this character, because in our world, where we have a lot of freedom to express ourselves, his growth and where he would go would be very interesting. For example, in the beginning of Innocent, he has a thing for dudes, but his lover gets executed, and then he needs to get a wife to make an heir for the family, because he himself is the first heir and the bloodline needs to continue. And in the end of Innocent, he puts his idealistic dreams away because when he has a family, protecting the family is more important than the idealism. And I think in our world, he can have a journey and express himself freely. And his job would be kinda. If you would see some other manga panels, it would be clearly, but he would be in some kind of making clothing, styling people, making fancy parties and stuff, being teaching people how to dance, etiquette, and so on.
I see, I see.
So there's Charles Henri Sanson. Who do
Yes.
you think would win?
Actually, I have no idea who's gonna win this. It's
And also on social media, Charles would be for the LGBTQ community and he would be an ally of them. Because
yeah,
social media is also an important topic.
yeah, SF would be the opposite of that.
Yes.
Um,
So, do
yeah,
we go for the oppressor or for the person who wants to be free? Polar opposites.
yes. I don't know really, actually, so you can decide this one.
I would go for Charles because I would love to see how he makes his true character, not the fake character, which is shaped out of society in Innocent.
Okay, then let's get on to the next bracket, and there we have Zoro. Zoro would be a perfect bodybuilder, and he would make quite some friends in the
Gym
gym.
goer.
He would have some nice gym buddies. He would then go drinking with them, but you can't leave him alone after those drinking sessions because he would just randomly sleep on a bench somewhere in a park, and you wouldn't find him.
Yes.
Uh,
Also, he would be not a guy for the big city. He would always get lost.
yes. Um, and on social media, he would
Does
post.
Sanji exist on social media? That's an important question.
Nah, we don't have him in this list, so we don't.
And
He's not existing.
then Zoro doesn't get banned for being toxic.
Yes, he would post some bodybuilding pictures with his friends and post some training sessions there. He would get quite famous at the girls.
Yes. But I think there's one problem with Zoro. I'm not sure if he would be a law-abiding citizen, if he would be being nice and not attacking people.
Yeah, of
If you
course.
remember the scene with the Celestial Dragon, for example,
Yes,
in how was the island called? Sabori,
of course.
right?
If you
Yes,
provoke him, he will get angry at you and will punch you or something. But I think
yes,
he
that's not
would
nice.
follow the law in some ways.
At most times.
Yes. So, what about Nikaido?
Kaido is a magician in the Dorohedoro world who does not want to be a magician and tries to live a normal human life, so would be quite fitting for our story. And in Dorohedoro, she has a restaurant, so she would obviously also have a gyoza restaurant in our real life. So, a secure job, I would say. She's also a very fun person to be around and would have a lot of friends with who she can chill and hang out and drink, for example, and stuff. Some stuff like with Kaima. So I think Mikhail would just be a normal person in our world. On social media as well, doing some normal stuff, posting pictures, maybe advertising a restaurant.
Hmm.
I would say probably the most normal person out of the list
Yes.
until now.
So now's the question: do we vote for the normal person or do we vote for the buffed bodybuilder?
I think we can vote for Zorros, it's fine.
Okay. Then Zoro makes this bracket. And next up we have another one from me. It's funny that thrice in a row my characters are in there and yours are the later ones, the
Yes.
second brackets. Let's get on to Natsu. And for Natsu, I really don't have an idea for what a job he could make in our world because he has some fire spitting abilities.
I mean, he doesn't have them in our world.
Yes, of course. But he would be really at doing a job, maybe.
Yes.
But he can't be on a train, in cars. So it should be
Traveling
something.
to his job would be really hard. He
Yes,
needs to live close by.
yes, that's what I wanted to say.
Also,
Uh,
he isn't the smartest guy, so I don't
yes,
know how education will go.
yes. But he's really strong, so maybe he would do something like um, in a mine or something.
In the mine, in the dark dungeon. Yes, but I know what you mean.
um, yeah, and
Maybe
social.
you could also do some crafting stuff. Like, maybe some kind of smithing, because they can work with fire.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
Something like
true.
that.
So something like a jewelry, maybe.
For example, yes.
Um, yes, but on social media he would be very, very rude.
Especially when someone is rude to his friends.
Yes,
Then he goes all in.
yes, he takes it personally. And you can't leave him alone at an apartment. He can't live alone. He would
No.
just smash his apartment.
Yes. Should we go on, or?
Yes, go on.
Next we have Elias from Delicious in Dungeon. I think Elias would be either a chef or a food critic who travels around multiple countries and tries the local food. So he has a job, and if he's a food critic, he would be like an influencer, posting about how he eats the stuff, how it's made, maybe writing a book about it, his experiences. So I think he would be a very interesting character, if you're interested in food, that is.
Hmm.
Like the show itself. And he would be very passionate about it. I mean, he's a quick one, so that's all I have. Quick and simple. And with that, I would think he clears Natsu.
Yeah, I think so too. Yep. So he then wins this bracket.
Yes.
Now we have two of my characters in a bracket, and the first one I have Jinna Kusakabe from Fire Force.
I
And
wonder what kind of job he
yes,
would be doing.
I wonder maybe in the firefighting department in our world.
Maybe, maybe.
But he then uses water against flames, not fire against flames.
Yes.
um, yes, he would run behind women smiling like this and would just harass some pretty beautiful woman.
He would be Guna on social media.
Yeah, definitely.
When he looks on a picture on his phone while he's riding a train and laughing sus. Sus.
Hmm. Yeah. Next up, I have Tanjiro.
The most boring person. In a good way. You will explain why.
Mm. I mean, he's naive in a way. He's not dumb, I think. Yeah, he's not dumb. But he's not the smartest, so I would go for an easy doing job like mm, what's an easy job that has to do with arm strength? Um,
Maybe building stuff or something, carrying stuff.
yes, maybe a builder or something like that.
Craftsman.
Yes,
Yes.
craftsman. Um, on social media, he would be in the LGBT bubble. He would be
Nice,
nice.
friendly.
Yes, but if you provoke him too much, he will get angry at you.
Yes. I think
So
Tanja would just be a normal, boring person, which is not a bad thing.
yes, I think so too. And he can cook. That's quite a
Solid.
um Vorteil.
Upside.
Yes, upside. So I think Tanjiro wins this one.
Yes.
And he's gone.
I need to reload then.
Yes,
I got games. Bugged. Hot fix.
perfect. And another one from me in the first bracket is Levi. Um, yes, Levi would be something like cleaning stuff. He would be like in a hotel, would clean the whole hotel.
He would be unfriendly to everyone
Yes, if
if
you,
they're doing dirty stuff.
yes, he would be then rude. Um, yes, but he at least has a job on social media. He would be like the introverted guy who wouldn't post anything and like some posts about some funny memes or something.
He would rant about stuff where he was. When, for example, when he's in a restaurant, they would rant about, "Oh, this place was so dirty. There was dust everywhere." Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, but I think he can definitely live alone in an apartment and he wouldn't have any problem socializing because his buddies are talk active and he's the quiet one.
Yes, I would agree.
So your pick is the next one.
Mau Mau, yes. First of all, Mau Mau is obviously smart enough to get along in our world. And I think she would have two possible jobs, or three. The first one is obviously being an apothecary who could have
Mm.
thought about that possibility. But the other ones are a bit more unique. I think one job would be great for her as is a researcher at uni in the scientific department. This would be great for her,
Mm-hmm.
making experiments with chemicals and stuff. And the other one would be fitting to her role in the series, being in a forensic department by the police.
Yep.
So plenty of jobs and smart enough to get along
Mm.
in our world. Other question is she would she be good at living alone, being clean, doing stuff on her own?
Definitely not.
Not that great.
Yeah,
Not the worst on the list, but also not great. So
she would
that's
have
a minus.
um she would have medicines laying on the grounds everywhere.
You poison herself.
Yeah.
And on social media, she would buy sus stuff and maybe get a virus because on some sites some chemical substance is sold that she wants, but it's a bait. And she
Mm.
clicks on the link, obviously, because she wants it.
Yes.
And on social media, she would always watch YouTube tutorials on how stuff is done and watch experiments. Some upsides and downsides as well.
Hmm.
Who do you think would win?
This one is another tough one, actually, for me. And I really have some trouble deciding of who's going to win this.
I think Levi has more strengths, but he's also more one-dimensional.
Yeah.
I think for Mamo there are many possibilities,
Mm,
but she has a bit more flaws than Levi.
yeah.
So one-dimensional strength or multi-dimensional but flawed?
Yeah, that's the question. And for me, I would go with the one-dimensional.
I can live with that.
Yes, I think that if you have more of those, it's not that good.
Yes. The next one. Thorfinn, my guy, the goat. We are talking about after Farmland Thorfinn, not the little ragey Thorfinn who wants revenge,
Hmm.
first of all. And I think this Thorfinn would fit in very well in our society. He would be a nice, calm person, be nice to everyone, find a decent job, be something like a community manager, a mayor or something. Because he has a similar role later in story, I don't want to spoil too much. Would be a charismatic leader of sorts. Let's say it like that. But there's one flaw for Thorfinn. He will struggle hard on social media. Because he has no enemies, but everyone on Twitter has enemies.
Hmm.
So if he wants to open Twitter, he has a mission. Bringing peace on Twitter. But that mission is impossible, my guy.
Hmm.
I'm sorry to break it to you, Thorfinn. Everyone on Twitter has enemies.
True.
Your cause will be in vain. Even though, no matter how hard you try.
Yeah.
Sorry to break it. You can go on.
Uh, and for me, I've picked Lelouch from Code Geass.
The
Um,
only character from the future that we have.
yeah. He would be something like a politician or something.
A bureaucrat.
Yes, because he has something like this in his world. So he would definitely fit in our world because he manipulates others to his own goods. Yeah. So
I think on social media he would be a mastermind of getting people's attention and making posts for his cause,
yes, something like Elon Musk.
but actually smart.
Hmm. Yeah.
Toff would also be on social media very open for example, the LGBT community and other oppressed stuff.
Yes.
So we have another polar opposite.
Hmm. So who's winning this one? I think for me the politician is definitely better in this
Would
one.
Lelouch get along with a technical downgrade that there will be when he goes to our world?
Mm, he's very
That's an
smart,
interesting
so he
question.
wouldn't have that much trouble learning things. So I think he will get easily along with it. But Thorfinn doesn't know anything about technology.
Technology,
Yes, so he would definitely have a really hard time to learn things.
but he's very adaptable.
Yes, but
So
it takes a long time to adapt.
you will see when we are in Vinland how good he can adapt to certain things.
He's not a adaptive king like Isaac Yoichi.
He's a character not on this list for reasons.
I had to bring my goat in.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I would go
Even though
for Lelouch.
I would vote for Thorfinn, but we can go with Lelouch. We need to compromise.
Next bracket.
is Amir from me. She is from, what was the time period? 1500, 1600? From something like that, from the Silk Road. So not only a historical character, but also a character who is not who's not from our Western world, let's say it like that. And in the series, she marries from a nomadic tribe into a family who is living in a village. So as we can see, there's also some adaptation from one lifestyle to another, because being nomadic, being hunting, and living in an actual house and in a village, in a community who is not nomadic, is quite different. So very adaptable character, big upside. And in terms of her job, she would be either still doing something with hunt, some, is it also in English called some foresting? The
What?
guys who hunt in the woods, so that
Hunters.
yes, I mean something. I mean firster. It's not
Ah,
hunter.
I don't know the
The
English
people,
word.
yes,
Who overlook the forest.
yes, who look on the forest, and when a certain population of certain animals, like wolves, is getting too high, they hunt them so that the wildlife is safe.
Hmm.
Or she would be in a clothing manufacturing store, because she's really good at embroidering stuff and making clothes. Some of the stuff that she's embroiders looks sick. She's also good at woodwork. So some artistic stuff can be made in some designer boutique. The designs will look great. They would have an indigenous touch, a foreign touch. That's a better, more understandable word.
Hmm.
And on social media, she would be caring about a lot of people and her friends, because she's a very caring person. She's basically the perfect older sister type of character.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, for me, I have picked Yoru, not with Asa, because Asa
Yes,
is
is
not.
a normal human.
Yes.
And Chainsaw Man is set at Cold War, so too
Hmm.
close to our time.
Yes. But it's a different word because they have devils and devils make the human world go hard. Yeah, they play on hard mode in Chainsaw Man, basically. Yes, but Yoru, I think she would be really crazy in our world. She would be like a vigilant or something. She would have a hard time.
Not to bite any laws.
Yeah. Um, on social media, she would be something like Kanye West at the moment. Yeah.
Yes. Knowing no boundaries,
Mm,
no respect.
yes.
He would also be very criminal.
Mm. So
So I would
this,
say the answer is quite obvious.
yes, this one is really obvious. And actually, we have here from everyone, four characters from everyone. Eight characters
Oh,
from everyone in the next round. Or is it eight? One, two, three, four, five,
you have more
six,
than
seven,
me.
eight. One,
Or?
two, three, four. No, I have four.
Oh no, sorry, I can count, yes. Let's continue.
Yes. After.
So, after a long beginning, now we will get faster, because all of the characters are explained. We have now two of mine facing off, Beta and Charles Henri Sanson. We have a character with known feats in our world, the only one in this list, by the way, in our real world. And a character who has potentially more potential, good wording, and is very idealistic. So, known quantities or potential that can't be fulfilled. What would you choose?
Um, I would go with the beta one.
Yes. No matter how great the potential is, if you have known feats, especially when you are the only one in this whole tournament who has this feats. Well, it's a very strong point, so I
Yes.
would go with beta as well.
So next bracket, we have Zoro against Laios, right?
Yes, Gym Buddy versus Food Critic.
I
I
don't
think
know.
both have a job that's solid. Both would be doing something on social media that's also solid.
Yes.
Both can have a job on social media, being a fitness influencer and a food critic on social media, also solid. So, but I would think Liars has some upsides. I would argue because Zoro would be getting lost in the big city,
Yeah.
and he would be a drunkard.
True.
Also not good. And if you're a drunkard, doing gym stuff is actually kinda hard because drinking alcohol and building muscles not a good combination easily achieved
Yes.
together. In anime, yes, but in the real world, quite difficult. That's the guy who went to the gym and was drinking alcohol after that on some evenings.
Ah. Ah, yeah.
Yes, I was actually in the gym for 3 or 4 years while the pandemic was.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I can go with your decision there.
Yes, I would also go with Liars. Because being a social media food creator on social media and traveling around, that would actually be a cool channel. I would watch it myself.
Yeah,
Watching some dishes
maybe
from other countries.
some videos.
Yes.
So,
Next one is a battle of viewers.
yes. And we have the normal person, the average normal human being against fanatic of cleaning. And this one is definitely easy. I would go with the normal person on this one.
Yes.
And I deleted him again.
And you hate Tanjiro more than me. You delete him every time. Fake Demon Slayer fan. I see.
Yeah, yeah. Now the cat's out of the bag.
Hmm.
Okay, next round. We,
Yes.
we have the politician against the overseer
Other
of the
normal
forest.
person. Basically, well, the most normal, the other most normal person on this list. This was heavy.
Yes.
Because she's a bit like Tanjiro. She's a nice person, would get around with everyone, can have multiple jobs, would be a caring normal person. So who do we choose?
I would go with the corrupted politician who will, if I pay him enough, he will make some laws that befit him and befit me.
I would actually go with a normal person. Because Lelouch has one problem. If he's not smart enough and he gets busted on social media, that would be rough.
Yeah, true. He then
And
would be get
in
imprisoned.
because Code Geass was a bit older, social media wasn't a topic back then. Because it's from the end of the 2000s, right?
Yes, I think so.
2008 or something. So social media wasn't a topic. So maybe Lelouch and his gang would be getting busted quite faster if social media were a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But also, Code Geass would be actually very interesting to see if with social media, with our current social media.
Yes. I mean, there's some propaganda on Code Geass, but
Yes.
on social media it's quite easier to make propaganda.
I mean, we know in America and in Germany, some political parties are unfortunately quite adept at it, I have to
Yes,
say.
yes. Okay, then we will go for the normal person.
We have a battle of the normies.
Yes, on the one side.
Yes. So, we have an author and a person who can adapt to our modern world. But who would be toxic on social media if she has a crush. And the guy who would be a traveling food critic who would do this on social media as a living. Who do we
Uh,
choose?
and I think he would have some haters um, if he rates some restaurants that are someone's favorite restaurants or something.
Yes. There'll definitely be some haters.
Hmm.
Plus, in the land of food, if someone has a favorite food, it's another one's most hated food.
Yeah.
So there's some mixed opinions there.
Hmm. Tough battle, actually.
Yes,
Um, I would go for adapt.
for beta.
Yes, I
And known
deleted
feats are strong. Oof.
it. Okay, so he then goes to the final.
Final round.
Yes, and the other semi-final bracket, Tanjiro against Amir.
I think we can make a good compromise because both characters are some of our favorite characters and are
Hmm.
basically the same.
Yeah,
So it kind of doesn't matter who wins
yeah,
because I would argue the argument against beta would be the same.
yeah.
So we can put someone from the two as a representative forward, but they will have a joint battle against the elf.
So let's put mine. So we have you against me in the final. So
Plus gender diversity.
yes.
Plus
So
both characters look happy on their picture.
yeah,
They are
yes,
happy to be in the final.
yes. So
So
that's the final.
we have an author being able to learn foreign language, our language, being able to use social media, learn it from the ground up, even though you come from a medieval time period, but the possibility to be quite toxic,
Hmm.
but also being very adaptable,
Yes.
plus being very loyal if she finds a great person to work with.
Yes.
She
And
would be a good worker under someone,
mm,
like the name Beta suggests.
yep. On the other hand, we have an hardworking, normal person who just wants to live a happy life, who wants to protect people. Um, or he also could be some kind of policeman because he wants to protect people.
Maybe, yes.
I think this job would fit him more
Yes, this would be a solid job, actually.
because he fights demons to protect the humans from them.
You can see the Hashira as some kind of police force and the
Yeah.
Hashira training
Hmm.
as police academy.
And he's hardworking to achieve the human peace.
Yes. He would be a decent officer.
Hmm. So who's gonna win this one?
I think I would still go with Beta.
Yeah, it's okay. I can go with that. I can see the arguments for her.
Because actual known feats are still strong. It's like in power scaling. You can speculate all you want, but if you have proof, proof is always good.
Hmm. Yep. So the grand winner is Beta.
Yay.
You. So, this concludes this episode.
Yes.
Let me.
Also, right, you're winner.
Hmm. That's what I wanted to say too. You're taking my words out of my mouth.
Yes. Slowpoke.
Hmm. Go comment down below who's your winner and
Some
check.
other characters that would fit in great into our world.
Hmm.
Also, a good comment.
So check out the other episodes if you'd like to see more of this.
And now we will talk about what we will do next episode. The history student is proposing a history lesson. We are doing a bit research on the history of anime and manga. Not a comprehensive full history, but we are picking, the both of us are picking out some important aspects or milestones that helped anime and manga, or some concepts that are not as prevalent nowadays, but were strong in the history.
Hmm.
For example, obviously social media, streaming, and the fact that anime was airing in TV helped. Concepts like the Big Three, the Dark Trio made anime bigger. We had some genres that were really strong back in the day, like sci-fi mecha, which are extinct nowadays.
Hmm.
Isekai boom can be a topic. The rising of more brutal anime because of Attack on Titan. And we have now more brutal shown like Chainsaw Man, JJK's Paradise, and earlier we had more happier shown like Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, yada yada.
Yep.
We can pick out what we want and talk about important milestones in the history of anime and manga.
It sounds really nice. So, if you're interested to hear that, go check out the next episode.
And have a nice rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.